Richard, we're not yet live, right?
Denzel, yeah.
Yeah. Just check the database. It seems as though the database is down.
Looks on my side.
The error of LMS?
Hmm.
It's giving an error. Database connection is overload.
Okay, colleagues, we're back, so we can get started.
A very good morning to each one of you, and thank you for joining our session. It's that part of the year where we are ready to enter the examinations, the upcoming examinations. And I know one of the critical things is what exactly is the examination process at UNISA about? What are the proctoring tools? What is academic integrity? And these are some of the questions that we are going to unpack for you today. Together with me, I have some of my colleagues, and we're going to unpack a little bit about what this means for us today. So it's my pleasure at this time to introduce, we've got Richard Wright, who is one of the educational consultant, educational technology advisors, and he's going to lead us in the program today together with some of the other colleagues. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you, Denzel. So, colleagues, students, thank you for joining us this morning. I know everybody is, can I say, you're really busy preparing for your exams and all of that. So hopefully we can share today the digital skills that you need to successfully complete your exams and also where you can go for support. But before we get started, I'm just going to play a video from our current ED just to really also motivate you for the examinations.
Greetings, dear students. I am Professor Mahanu, the Acting Executive Director in the Department of Tuition Support and Facilitation of Learning. On behalf of ADOF, which is one unit in our Department of Tuition Support and Facilitation of Learning, I want to say our warm wishes for your exams that are coming. We know that you are experiencing a myriad of challenges. We are cognizant of what you are going through in different contexts, in different regions, and also different places across the globe. But we want to say, as a student of UNISA, also we know that you are resilient and no problem is bigger than you. Manage these challenges that want to deter you, that want to take you off path, and make sure that you make use of every little opportunity. Study hard, contact your module leader when you are experiencing challenges related to the academic matters, and contact the support department for any challenge that pertains to administrative matters. But we wish you all the best from DTSFM and Adolf. May all of you pass. Thank you.
So students, so with that introduction, you can see we've got quite a big program today. We're first going to just walk you through the platform on which you will be watching this video, and also where the chat will be available. Then we will have a look at how do you actually access your exams, the myExams portal for your specific college. We'll look at the exam types, why, and then accompanied with that, also touch on academic integrity, because that really flows into why are we using all of these types of proctoring tools. We will then just touch quickly on what devices you might need for your exams, some tips on, which devices will work better. We will take you through the mock exams where you can go test your setup. And then we will hear from the Student Support Contact Center. They will also be in the chat. So please make sure you use of them to with any queries that you might have. Then we'll have a discussion with Oxford to see what arrangements are there for students with special needs. And then finally, we will end up with Lwazi, the online assistant, and Lwazi, and how Lwazi can also answer some of your questions. We will end off the program with just a quick QA, some of the more popular questions that pops through. And so please stay tuned if you've got a question that's unanswered for that session where we can assist you. Now, first thing, I'm going to put in the chat a link. This is a pre-course assessment. So please complete this pre-course assessment while we're doing the introductory sections on how to access, because this really helps us to, when we go back to review the results, we can see where you might have any, need more information, so we can focus on that in the future. So I'll put it in the chat, so it should come up shortly. Yeah, being just a little bit of technical problems here, so just quickly waiting for this to be resolved. Okay, so as soon as it's back, I will paste it for you on there. Now, first things first is how do you access the support site? So currently, I see we're having a bit of server problems, but basically you are on the myExam support site. If you click the link to join, it will take you to the ADOVH platform. And this is where all the content that we will be covering today will be available. So there is a bit of technical problems this morning, but hopefully that will be resolved very soon. As soon as it's resolved, we can show you and interact with you on the chats. So I'm posting the link to the survey at the moment. Please copy that into your URL to complete the assessment. Now, as we mentioned, you are on the myExams guides. If you're participating in the chat, this is basically where all the information will be hosted. So I'm just going to show you on this side what it looks like. So if you go through here, we've got a welcome section. You might be getting this message now. I think the server is a bit overloaded for today. But basically, this is where you will receive all your content. So please make sure that you've got access to the site. You log in with your MyLife email address, the same as what you do with the myExams portal and on My Modules. So make sure that your credentials are working by testing out your access to all of these various platforms. Now, first thing, especially if you're a new student, this might be new to you, and that is that you won't be writing your exams on the My Modules platform. This will be on the myExams portal. So very importantly, when you access your exams, you go to myUNISA, you click on the My Exams button. On the My Exams portal, you select the date on which you will be writing. Now, just note, this is only displays the exams for the day of the specific date and 4 days in advance. So if you're writing in 6 days, it won't be displayed there. So please make sure just about 4 days before your exam, go to the My Exams portal, click on your module, make sure that you can log in, that you don't get any errors such as user logins when you access the My Exams site. Now, these portals, why they use it like this is each college has its own portal. So, for instance, if you're College of Accounting Sciences, you will be at the CAS My Exams portal. If you CSET, you will be on the Science Engineering Technology portal. So just make sure that you can log into them. You'll notice when you log in, it looks almost exactly the same as My Modules, except that it's called My Exams. So if we have a look at this, the process, so basically you visit myUNISA, you click on the My Exams button. From there, you select the date on which you will be writing, and this will display a list of the modules that's being written on that specific date. You click on the module that you will be writing, and this will direct you to the exams portal for your college. From here, this login screen should look very familiar. This is the same login screen you have for My Modules. So you just follow the exact same steps, log in with your MyLife email, enter your password, and then remember, if this is your own device, you can select yes and then show this again. But if this is a borrowed device, rather keep this unchecked because you don't want anybody else to get access to your account. Now, as you know as well, two-factor authentication has been brought into the university. So when you log in, you might need to get a text code to enter for you to log in. So make sure that your cell phone number is correct on the My Admin portal. If you're having problems with accessing, you can contact the support line, and you can also go visit with your closest regional office where they can provide you also support. So with this two-factor authentication, one of the apps that we really recommend to make sure that you can always access your account is the Authenticator app. The Authenticator app is available on the Google Play Store and the Apple iOS Store. And basically, this is a free app that you download from Microsoft. You can sign in with your MyLife account for the first time, and then from there on, it will just give you the code directly without having it to be SMS to you. So if you're having trouble with your cell phone or receiving SMSs, another good way to go is with the Authenticator app. So let's have a look quickly at the My Exams portal. Just a demo on how to actually do what we just were talking about. So if you go to ADO myUNISA, you'll notice here is under important links, it's the My Exams. From here, you will select the date on which you will be writing. So just make sure there's currently nothing going to be written in the next 5 days. That's why nothing is shown. But otherwise, when you click on the date, it will open up a list of modules. Now, as we mentioned, once you click on a module, it will open up to My Exams portal on which you will be writing. And from here, you need to log in. So here you use your MyLife email account, you log in, and as you can see, it looks a lot like my modules, except that if you look at this picture, it will have your My Exams at the top. You click on the My Exams drop-down menu, you select your module. So you can do this even 4 days ahead of your exam just to make sure that you can access it. Once you're on this page, you'll notice at the bottom right, usually you've got your assessment that you will be doing. So the assessment will only open on the day of the exams, but you can access this site already just to make sure you've got access. Now, there are quite a few assessment types. So the first one is the MCQ exams. The second one is the take-home exams, and then sometimes your module, it will, on your exam timetable, it will say module arrangements. So what is the difference between these ones? MCQ is basically multiple choice questionnaires, and this uses the quiz activity. So with your assignments, you already perhaps had a quiz that you need to complete for one of your assessments, and it will use exactly the same tool. And it works also more or less exactly the same, but we will cover some of the aspects that's different. The second one is take-home exams. So if you know it's a take-home exam, it's a written exam. So this will use where you're basically going to type out your the questions or the answers in a Word document, or you'll write it out and then scan in the document or save your Word document as a PDF and upload it to my modules, my exams. Now, module arrangements is a bit different. So these are not done on the My Exams portal. So only these two types are done on My Exams. The module arrangements one are for things like continuous assessments. Perhaps you have to upload a portfolio, and this will be communicated through to you by your lecturer. So this you do on my modules. So just remember, if you see module arrangement for your specific module, you will not be submitting on my exams, you will be submitting on my modules. If it's MCQ or take-home exam, you will be using the My Exams portal. Now, before we go into the proctoring tools, let's first just hear from our exam chair on why academic integrity is so important. And then afterwards, we will hand it over to Jessica to just introduce to you also what is academic integrity.
Hello everyone, my name is Pindu Kamlani and I'm the chairperson of UNISA's online examination committee. We are approaching the examination season, which is a difficult period as you prepare for your final examination. To prepare you for your online examinations, we have prepared a step-by-step guide to guide you through your examination setting. We have also prepared for you a mock examination in order to test your readiness. You can also attend training where you'll have an opportunity to ask questions that you may have in preparing for your online examinations. In tightening our controls, UNISA has introduced proctoring tools in order to authenticate your identity and record your surroundings. That being said, we have noted an increase in solicitation of our students through SMSs by third-party suppliers, enticing our students to write on their behalf. While UNISA has opened up a case with the Hawks in order to investigate how these suppliers have received our student details, we have assured ourselves through data that majority of our students have not participated in such fraudulent activities. However, we have identified that there has been some students who have shared their login details with these suppliers. In some cases, these students have purchased scripts from the said suppliers. Our measures of identifying academic dishonesty has proven to be effective, as over 97% of students who have been identified have received sanctions of between 1 to 3 years from the university. These students can no longer proceed with their academic year and will have to wait until the sanction period lapses before completing their studies. Students will also not be able to register at other South African universities during this period. Having said, in disciplinary proceedings, students who have been identified have been remorseful and were unaware of the consequences of their action. Because the sanctions reflect on the student's academic record, it affects their employment opportunity and their professional integrity. We urge our students not to engage in such dishonest behaviors as it is not worth it. Our stance is to protect all students' qualification, and we shall do so vigorously and unapologetically. We wish all our students all the best for their examinations and as they complete their qualifications with the leading African university, UNISA.
Thank you, colleague.
So with that note on, the cases that's been found and why it's so important that we need to use these tools, I'm going to hand over to Jessica that will take you through what is academic integrity so that you know that you are ethically in your studies. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Richard, and welcome everyone here today. I'm just getting my presentation up and running. There we are. Wonderful. So welcome colleagues and students here today. I'm going to be taking you through academic integrity. You might have heard the word being buzzed around, but as you come into university, it might be an unfamiliar concept. And we need to explain it to you so you are able to arm yourself and be able to behave with academic integrity as you're a student at UNISA. So let's first chat a little bit about the values that academic integrity is built on. The whole concept of a university is built around these values that you see on screen here. And it's not just about the faculty and staff, but everyone, including the students, who need to embrace these values of academic integrity. So let's look into them a little bit more. First up, we have honesty. Now, this is about being truthful and giving credit where it is due and staying factual. And it creates this ripple effect across the academic community, whether you are honest or dishonest. Trust comes next. How is it possible to build trust as a student? Mainly, as long as you produce work that is honest and thoughtful and authentic to you. So when you act with sincerity, you promote openness and you encourage understanding, you are building trust. Then we have respect. And this is about not just treating others with dignity and respect, but yourself as well. You show respect when you take those opportunities to learn and you take responsibility for your own education and you participate at university in a way that is fair and kind. Things like listening to feedback, having open communication, and understanding the impact of your actions and words. That is how you show respect. Then there is fairness. As students, you'll be able to demonstrate fairness by doing your own work, citing sources properly, respecting the rules and policies of the university, and helping to uphold your university's reputation and therefore your own reputation. Then we have responsibility. Now, this is a shared burden amongst all of us in the learning community. It's about holding not only yourself, but also others accountable, knowing and following the rules of your university, and setting a positive example. And finally, we have courage. Now, this is about upholding that highest standard of academic integrity, which is sometimes it takes a lot of guts. It's about standing up against wrongdoing and also defending integrity, even if it makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. So there you have it. These are the core values of academic integrity. So let's imagine for a moment that they are not followed. Say, for example, a student cheats or they hire someone to write their exam, or they copy someone else's work without properly citing and giving a reference. What happens? if that student takes those habits into the workplace? Well, employers are not exactly going to be lining up to hire a person who doesn't play by the rules. So if there's a disciplinary case on that student's academic record, an employer will think twice before offering them the job. It's kind of like this chain reaction where if word gets out that students at a university don't uphold academic integrity, then the rest of the community starts to question the value of a degree from there. And that's not just bad news for the university, but also for all the students who graduate from that university. The university could risk losing accreditation from quality assurance bodies like the Council of Higher Education, or even professional bodies like the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. And these bodies currently recognize us as reputable institutions. So it's not just about you. If other students cheat, then they tarnish the value of your degree. And that's why it's so important that we all work together to uphold these values. So let's go a little bit more into what is an academic dishonest behavior. We've talked about what it means to behave with integrity at university, but what constitutes dishonesty? One of the main ones that pops into your head when we talk about dishonesty is the word plagiarism. Now that's when you present your work, even though it's someone else's work, as yours. So it might be someone else's ideas, expressions, words. If you copy and paste into an assignment and you don't acknowledge and you don't paraphrase, then that is plagiarism. Then there is cheating. Now that's where you use unauthorized materials or information or assistance when completing any assignment or examination, for example. Might be when we were in school, we had crib notes. Those were cheating. Then we have collusion. That is collaborating without being authorized. So if you have group work, this doesn't apply. If it's supposed to be an independent assessment completed by just yourself, then you go and you collaborate with others to produce work. That is a form of dishonesty. Then we have falsification. Now you'll see falsification and fabrication here. Falsification is where one, and it happens a lot, and it can happen in research, where one intentionally changes or invents or misrepresents data or information or citations in their academic work. Whereas fabrication is where you falsify or invent, make up any information or citation in one of your assessments. Then we have facilitation of dishonesty. Now, what can that mean? That's where a lot of students go into a gray area and they don't realize they are behaving dishonestly. It's when they help someone else commit an act of academic dishonesty. So if you're in the middle of an exam or an assessment and someone pops you a message and they say, hey, where do I find this answer? And you know this person, you want to help them out and you tell them where. Unfortunately, that would be facilitation of dishonesty, and it is academically dishonest. We also have impersonation or third-party assistance. That is where one assumes a student's identity or allows someone else to assume your identity to complete that academic work. And then on everyone's lips at the moment, artificial intelligence. Using AI to generate or present your own work as being carried out by yourself, but using artificial intelligence to create it, that is dishonest behavior. Now, some assessments might
Jessica?
encourage you. Yes?
Sorry, will you just share your screen, your entire screen, not the presentation, as that's not going through to the broadcast.
Is it not going through? I've gone 3/4 of the way through. Thank you, colleagues. All right, then I am going to bring it up. Just hang on. I'll do it the old school method. Just give me 1 second, Richard, while I put it into presenter mode. Just hang on. And then I will share the main screen. All right. Is that visible, Richard?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, All right. Where were we? Yes, AI. So some academics will encourage you to use artificial intelligence as a way to cross-check, as a tool, and that is okay. But you will be clearly communicated with that artificial intelligence is not allowed in the creation of your answers, for example. Sometimes it's okay as a tool, but you will be communicated with, and be careful to ensure that you understand what is and is not allowed with respect to artificial intelligence. Please check in with your lecturer. 90% of the time, artificial intelligence is not allowed. Now, there's also one more, and that is not using the invigilation software. If you don't download and activate the software, if you put the software, minimize it on your screen, if you're away for more than 10 minutes, if you are talking to others, if you're playing music in an attempt to confuse the software, if you are using the time, handing in time to write, now, unfortunately, that is going into academically dishonest behavior. And we'll cover the Invigilator and Iris and Moodle proctoring in more detail. Now, what happens if you are flagged for academic dishonesty? Often you can immediately get 0% for whichever submission you've given. The lecturer notes the issue, and in a major exam or assessment, then further investigation is conducted. The marks will be withheld while this investigation is going on. What happens if it's very likely that you have committed? Now remember, you need to have the opportunity to also represent yourself. But after that initial investigation, you are issued with a warning letter. And at that point, you are allowed to accept or contest that letter, the charge of academic dishonesty. You get 5 days in which to do so. If you do contest, then you are invited to a hearing where you are allowed to present your case. You are also allowed to have representation from the Student Representative Council, for example. However, if you are found guilty, this is the probability on all the evidence, then there are sanctions that can be implemented. But please always remember that appeal is possible. Now, what are these types of sanctions? As shown in the video, it can vary. Now, Ms. Kamalani mentioned 1 to 5 years sanctions. It can go even further than that. First off, you can have an academic written warning attached to your record. Now, your future employers have access to that, so think carefully. Otherwise, there might be something like suspension from the university for a period of time, 1 to 3 years, sometimes 5. You could have your entire credits for that module or even the entire degree cancelled. And lastly, in very severe cases, there can be a criminal record attached to your future prospects. So what can you do to help prevent falling into the pit of academic dishonesty? One of the things I always advocate for as students, study something that you find interest in, not something that your parents or grandparents or family tell you should study. Identify something you're passionate about. And when you're passionate about it, you are less likely to commit academic dishonesty because you take pride in your work and you feel less pressure because you're enjoying it. Something else to consider is the idea of notional hours. Now, when we talk about planning your time, we have notional hours in mind. Most modules range between 12 credits to 24 credits, majority 12. And that equates to 120 notional hours of study. So 1 credit is 10 notional hours. Okay, so if you overload yourself with 8 modules, that is over 100, almost 100 credits, and you're already going for over 1,000 notional hours. Are you able to do that and still take care of your mental and emotional health? Are you able to manage the workload? If not, please be careful. Plan your time. Don't worry about completing the degree in the shortest time as possible. You want to be successful with your degree, and that takes priority. Other ways you can do it is to practice your skills. Right now, you are here today. You are upskilling yourself. You are learning how to do an exam online. There are also massive open online courses on the ADOVH site. There are a number of tutoring opportunities out there as well, and these are always made available on the myUnisa site. So please keep an eye on that space. And then lastly, please ask for help if you are struggling. What you see on the screen here is our email for our counseling services, whether that is planning your time or emotional and mental well-being. You can reach out to this email, that is counselling@unisa.ac.za for support. Then lastly, what happens if you do encounter an instance of academic dishonesty that is not your own? You can whistleblow. Now, this is an anonymous service that you see on screen here. You can contact our telephone hotline on 0800 07 5278, or you can email unisa@thehotline.co.za. And this is where that value of courage comes in, because it's easy enough to look after ourselves, but to hold others accountable is much more difficult. Remember, we are all part of this larger puzzle. If one of us is not behaving with integrity, then the broader picture is not complete. And with that, Richard, that is my presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jessica. So students, we're going to be moving on to the proctoring tools section. So we will be looking at lesson 3, proctoring tools, if you want to follow along on your side. I just also want to mention on the live events, if you want to post a comment, please use the social chat in the left navigation. So that is a quick way to chat with us from your side. Unfortunately, the site is experiencing a bit of slow time this morning. It's probably because of a big load on the servers. But on the live events, you will have access to the social chats, and you can use those to communicate with us. So all you need to do is on the page, just remember to open up the side navigation, and then you will have access to the social chats where you can post comments to us and we can reply to your questions that you will have. So with that, we can proceed with the presentation. So the next topic that we want to discuss is the profile picture. So this is still mandatory for UNISA, where you need to upload a profile picture. These profile pictures are used in conjunction with the proctoring tools to ensure that it's you that's writing the exam. Now, a profile picture is very easy to load. You log into myUnisa, you go to my modules, you click on your profile for image or name at the top. From there, it will then from the drop down, you can select profile, and then you can select edit profile. Now, on the edit profile, you can easily upload a picture from your device. You save it, and then it will be saved. You'll immediately see it at the top right that your profile picture has been uploaded. So if I have a look on myUnisa, so if you go here, let me just get to the correct tab here. myUnisa, you just log into my modules. You click on your profile name at the top. You click on profile. And then from here, you can edit your profile. So if you scroll down, do not change any of the other settings. If you go down here to use a picture, you can easily upload a picture from your device. You just choose file, upload a picture, and then finally, you click on update profile, and your picture will then immediately be displayed at the top right. Just note, if you're going to be signing in with, how can I say, with to the myExams portal, your profile picture will not be displayed on the myExams portal. So remember, as long as it shows on my modules, you are good to go for the exams. But when you log into the myExams portal, they are not synced up. So your profile picture will not display on the myExams. So this brings us to the various proctoring tools that will be used during the exams. So there are three main proctoring tools used by the university. It's Moodle proctoring for MCQ type of exams, Invigilator app for take-home exams, and then we've got the Iris Invigilation, and this is used for MCQ and take-home exams. Now, the big thing on here is you will only use one proctoring tool. So Iris is only used for the College of Science, Engineering, Technology at the moment. There are some special circumstances where they also use it for CTA exams. But if you're not in the College of Science, Engineering, Technology, you will use one of these two proctoring tools. So it will either be Moodle proctoring, if it's an MCQ exam, or if it's a take-home exam, you will be using the Invigilator app. And if you're in College of Science, Engineering, Technology, you will use Iris for both of them. So we have actually a proctoring lookup tool that you can have a look at. So if you go to the website, let me just open it up. So on the course, we've got the, it's under lesson 3, what proctoring tool will my module use? If you click on this one, you can just type in your module code. So MIT, for instance, it tells me it's the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology. Here's the module code, the take-home assignment, and I'll be using Iris proctoring tool. And if you click on this button, it will actually open up the guide for Iris as well. So if you're doing, for instance, a language module such as ENG 3705, you can see it's take-home assignment, and it's the Invigilator app that you will be using. So just always make sure that you know which proctoring tools you will be using on the day. And I will ask them to put it in the chat as well, the link directly to the proctoring tool. But note, it's under lesson 3, what proctoring tool will my module use? So the first proctoring tool that we will be looking at will be Moodle proctoring. So as we mentioned, this is only used for MCQ exams. It captures your picture with via the webcam on your device. So this can be, if it's a laptop, it's going to use your webcam, or if it's a desktop, also webcam. And a phone, it will be using your front-facing camera while you do the quiz. So the device that you will be using needs a camera or a webcam, and just make sure that it is working. Always go to your, if it's for instance on Windows, open up the camera app, or even on your phone, open up the camera app to make sure that the camera is functioning. So if we have a look on the website, so as we mentioned, we're under lesson 3. So as we mentioned, Moodle proctoring uses the camera, and it takes pictures automatically about every 30 seconds. So it doesn't record sound. It's not a continuous recording. It only takes pictures at about every 30 seconds. And this is primarily to make sure that it is you doing the quiz assessment. So you might be wondering, but then how do they prevent with MCQ type of assessments if they only take a picture that you're not talking to somebody or getting help? Well, it's actually very easy. The questions are randomized. So you and somebody else will not have the same questions to answer them. But still, as per all the other proctoring tools as well, you may not use a headphone or a headset on your or microphone on your head. It must be, your face must be clearly visible, and you may not have any headphones. Now, how do you also know that it's Moodle proctoring? When you get this message, when you're going to open up the page, it's going to tell you to continue with this quiz attempt, you must open your webcam, and it will take some pictures randomly during the quiz. Now, the first time you access it, very importantly, you'll get this pop-up to allow camera. So make sure once this pop-up comes, you click on allow. On browsers, it's usually at the top left. On mobile devices, it usually pops up in the middle. If you accidentally click block, you'll have to refresh the page or go into your settings to allow the camera again. But otherwise, it works exactly like you did your assignments or the quiz assessments that you did previously. You click on the attempt quiz now. The difference will be that you have to agree to the validation process. It will show you your video feed, and then you can click on start attempt. From there, in the right-hand side, there is the navigation. It will show you your camera that it's working, but you can actually close this up. So you don't need to have this open the whole time. You just focus on completing the assessments. Now, if you scroll down all the way, we've got the Moodle Proctoring mock exam. So please come and do this one. When we get to the mock exams phase, we will look at all of them. But for now, I just want you to make sure that you understand that this is used only for MCQ assessments. It uses a camera, and then it's used for, how can I say, it just runs in the background. You complete a quiz assessment as you normally do, and it will start to stop automatically. After we've gone through all the Invigilator apps, when we get to the mock exam stage, we will show you the demo of exactly how this works. Now, the next one is the Invigilator app that Jessica will take you through. But I just want you to note again that this is only for take-home exams, and this one only runs on your mobile device. But for this section, I will hand over to Jessica.
Thank you, Richard. I'm just going to start the slideshow. There we go. Please confirm when you are able to view it.
Yes, you're good to go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And welcome back. Thank you, everyone. This is the quick run through of the Invigilator app, and I have taken some screenshots to help demo to you what you might experience. Now, you are able to download the Invigilator app for your smartphone from any of the major phone operating systems, whether it's Google Play, the App Store, Huawei. The Invigilator app is available on all of them. And this is for your assessments that will be written submission assessments, and they are typically between 2 to 4 hours long. Now, very importantly, you can take these written assessments with either 2 devices or 1 device. We're very much aware of the digital divide in our country. So if you have the privilege of being able to have 2 devices, you'll be focusing on the myExams platform on your laptop or PC or tablet, and you'll have downloaded the Invigilator app to your smartphone. So that I'm going to reiterate what Richard has said. This is only for your smartphone. You do not download the Invigilator onto your laptop, PC, or tablet. So you will run the Invigilator app on your smartphone while typing away as you're busy with your exam. Now, alternatively, if you only have a smartphone, the Invigilator app has an in-app browser through which you are able to access the myExams site as well. So allowances are made for both. Now, how it works. For the very first time, if you've never used the Invigilator app before, you need to register as a student between 24 to 72 hours before your very first exam. Now, if you try and do it weeks ahead of your very first exam at UNISA, you are probably going to encounter an issue where it doesn't register you as a student, it's not acknowledging you as a student. That is because we have hundreds of thousands of students at UNISA, and we need to register them as they come closer to the exam time, and that helps to handle the load. So you're looking at 72 to 24 hours before your first exam is the sweet spot, only when this is the first time you're using the app. The app is then going to take you through steps to set it up so that it's ready to run. Now, this is why you cannot only download the app just before you write. because you need to go through these steps, and I'll show you the steps and hopefully the reality will hit you in the face. It's not something you can do in 15 minutes. And then lastly, and I very, very much recommend this, please test the experience of the Invigilator, become familiar with it, skills build using our mock exam or the Invigilator demo exam. So this is on the screen now, a demo of the whole setup experience. So once you have downloaded the app, you've managed to register as a student, you're going to be confronted with these first two screens. First, a quick little welcome, and then the request to access your camera. Now, this is because you are going to be prompted during your exam to take a selfie or shots of your surroundings, so it needs access to your camera. So you allow it, you say, okay. It then requests microphone access. What is that for? That is to make sure that you are not consulting with someone else about the answers to your exam. Now, please do not worry if your child happens to run in screaming and shouting. Yes, the app might flag it, but humans review the flags. So if they pick up that this is just a child running around or maybe not a focused conversation about the examination, then you will be pushed through. But very suspicious activities such as conversations in different languages or words coming from the exam paper itself, those will be pushed through to the lecturer for further investigation. So once you've given it access to the microphone, and remember my discussion on academic integrity, not setting it up properly includes academic dishonest behavior. So you need to provide access. You're going to then get this getting started message, as you see. It's drawing your attention to a few components on your screen. One of them being your timer at the bottom right-hand corner. Keep an eye on that. If you don't know how much time is left, you can just look up your phone and you'll see how much time is left for writing. So it's just drawing your attention to that timer. It's now going to take you through a demo of these selfies. So it just asks you to quickly take that initial selfie picture. You get the experience then, you're going to repeat this during the exam. But this initial selfie picture is used to cross-check that the person taking the exam is the same person who set up this phone in the beginning. So it will cross-check. I've also had questions previously about, what about if I've grown a facial beard or I'm wearing glasses? Most of the time it will be okay with that, but please ensure that you have a very recent photo of yourself as possible. Then it does a descriptive photo check. So it's giving you the experience that every now and then during your exam, you're going to be pinged, you'll hear an alert on your phone, and you'll need to take a photo of something. It might be your ID, it might be your computer screen, it might be your surroundings. So it gives you that experience, and it shows you how it puts it into this evidence drawer. There, the screen you see, device calibration. Lastly, it does another mic check, and this is to make sure that you're going to be able to hear the alerts, but also that your device is going to be able to listen in if necessary. Now, this might be worrying you. Please, students, do not stress. This is handled with the utmost integrity, and these audios are only used for the purposes of academic integrity. They are not shared. So it just does that last check, and then you are set up. Now, on the day of your exam, you are going to access your exam site, myexams.unisa, about 15 minutes before the official start of the writing time. Now you can go via myUnisa, click on My Exams, go through your timetable, just access your exam site 15 minutes before writing time. You will need to download that paper, and on that paper you will typically have the QR or access code for the Invigilator. A lot of lecturers send this front page to you ahead of time. Once you've downloaded and you've got your QR code or access code, you're able to open the Invigilator app, click Start Assessment, and you'll be able to scan that code or enter the access code. Now, when you start assessment, you can see we're in the exam dashboard in this demo. You see the Start Assessment at the bottom. Once you click it, you see the prompt to scan the QR code or enter the access code. Now, what will happen is you will be prompted to use the location. You can select allow once or allow while using the app. Now, what this does is it ensures that students are not sitting together in collusion, as I've demonstrated in the integrity presentation, and are maintaining integrity by doing this independently. It will then verify that you are a registered student for this assessment, and it will remind you, please do not lock the phone. Do not minimize the application. Just put your phone at this point on the table next to you. Say okay and leave it. Focus on writing your exam. This is the screenshot of what the resting screen is going to be on the app. It will ask you, it'll have a prompt every now and then, and as you take your pictures, they will upload in this evidence drawer. Now, just a quick demo, this is what the in-app browser looks like. So you are able to go into the in-app browser, log in using your standard login procedures, and you will then be able to access your exam site. Now, on the screen here is an example prompt of the ID request. Now, this will definitely be requested. This is to verify that the person writing is the registered person. So you will take a photo of your ID and put it down. Later on, it might ask you to take a selfie. You can look as awful as I do in that one, but take the selfie, put it down. Remember not to minimize. So colleagues, what you see here is the basic steps. If you would like to, I'm going to leave this on the screen for a moment. Take out your phones or use your screenshot tools on your laptop or whatever device you're using. Take this. It's a very useful, quick reference of the steps in the Invigilator app. Some key things I want to draw your attention to is that you have 15 minutes before the start time of writing that you're able to go and download that paper. But you only have 30 minutes after the start of writing to get into the Invigilator. If you go past those 30 minutes, you will be flagged as for academic dishonesty as not having used the Invigilator app. So please don't go past those 30 minutes. Now at the end, you'll see you have up to 8 minutes at the end of writing time to finish off on the Invigilator. It's going to prompt you that you'll be able to take the pictures of all of your exam pages and it will finish up for you. You have 30 minutes after the end of writing time to upload on myExams. Now, why is this? This is to ensure that you're not using writing time to continue to, not using upload time to continue to write. Okay, that is one of the academic dishonest behaviors. So when you are done, and perhaps you finished early, you can click on the Finish Assessment button on the screen you see there. Every item that is in your evidence drawer will then be uploaded. You'll be asked to confirm, yes, I'm finished, great, you can proceed. You then get prompted to scan all your pages. So you'll click on that plus sign and it has a built-in scanner. So you make sure your page is nice front and center. You take the picture and you take another picture until you have all of your assessment pages in your evidence drawer. You can then save as a PDF. It will generate a PDF for you and you will be able to see what it looks like. You can then click on Upload PDF. Again, you're going to be asked to confirm. Why? so that you make sure all the pages have been scanned. So if you have, you say yes, upload document. Then it says, well done. At this point, you're welcome to leave the app and you can go and upload the PDF on myExams. But there is a nice extra feature of the Invigilator in that you can share the PDF it took with yourself. So you can click on Share PDF, you can email it to yourself, and then you can use that copy to upload on myExams. Okay. So last slide, and thank you for paying attention so far. Please do not contact your lecturer if you are having any technical issues with the Invigilator app. The lecturer will not be able to assist you. They are there for your academic queries. If you have any difficulties, we have a dedicated Invigilator support team. Please save this message that you see on your screen now. It's a WhatsApp number. You cannot phone it. You can only WhatsApp it. And that number is 073 505 8273. Alternatively, you can also go to the Invigilator website. They have a help desk that is always active there, and you can also get support there if you are struggling with WhatsApp. With that, Richard, I'm done. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, Jessica. So I'll be covering now the last of our list of proctoring tools, and this will be the iris invigilation. So as we mentioned, this is only used by the College of Science, Engineering and Technology. It only runs on a laptop or a desktop computer. It's a Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge extension. So you need to use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. And your computer requires a microphone and camera, webcam. So remember, no headphones are allowed. So you need to have, especially if you have a desktop PC, a working webcam that can also capture the sound. So we go to our course site. So we're still under lesson 3, the Invigilator proctoring. So we've got this all the steps on here. So there's a short video clip as well on how to set it up. What I really want you to focus on is this link over here, official iris website. So just as the Invigilator app is run by, it's a third-party software that's bought by UNISA, it's exactly the same for iris. Now, as you can see, if you come to their webpage, they've got instructions for installation. They've also got frequently asked questions at the bottom. So if you've got any problems or experiencing any problems with iris, first have a look through if you don't see any something here that can help you. Now, what I also like about, if you come to the official page, you can see it's actually made for UNISA, and they've got the links to add the extension. So it's very easy. You just identify what browser you're using. So I'm using Microsoft Edge, got this icon. I can click on this icon to go and get the extension. Once I'm on the extensions page, all I need to do is select Get. And this will install the extension then to my browser. So remember, before you do the mock exam or you go to your exams, you have to have this extension installed, else you won't be able to be proctored, and therefore your exams will not be released. So just make sure once you selected it, it will install it, and you'll see at the top this little puzzle icon. Now it shows that iris is installed. You can also go to your menu and click on extensions to view all the extensions that's installed. So make sure that iris is installed on the browser that you will be using. You can also click on the 3 dots if you want to remove it. Say it's giving problems, you can remove it from your browser very easily and then reinstall it as well. So for iris, have a look at the official website. The link is under lesson 3. So we will also take a look at the mock exam for this and show you exactly how it operates. But just like the Invigilator app where you need to install it on your mobile phone, this one you have to install on your browser, on your desktop or laptop. There is a mobile version also available, but UNISA only uses the desktop version and the laptop version. So just make sure that you can have it installed. So just a quick summary before we're gonna dive into the mock exams and the required devices. So remember, Moodle Proctoring only used for MCQ exams. Invigilator app only for take-home exams. Iris Invigilation only used by CSET, and it's for both MCQ and take-home. But you will always only use one of these proctoring tools. You will never use two at the same time. So that just brings us, to some required devices. So if it comes to a smartphone, if you're going to be using, say, for instance, the MCQ, make sure that it's preferably not older than 5 years and that it's updated to latest operating system made for your device. Also, make sure you've got access to the internet, although, for instance, the Invigilator app has a function where if you lose connectivity, it will still continue. It saves everything to your device, and then you can upload everything afterwards. But still, you do then need enough space to save everything. So just make sure on your device that you do have enough space still for the installation of the app, but also for the app data that it will be using. And now your device will need a working camera if you're using Moodle Proctoring. If you're using it for the Invigilator app, it does need a working camera, microphone, and sound so that you can hear the notifications. So remember, for mobile devices, when it comes to take-home exams that you're going to be writing, you don't need to submit within the app. You can write your exam on your laptop or your desktop and then upload it to myExams as well, your answers, and then use the mobile device just for the Invigilator app to run. So it just runs next to you. Now, if it comes to, if you're going to be using a desktop computer, so preferably Windows 10 on the latest updates, must have access to the internet, must be able to run productivity software quite well. For instance, if you're going to be using the Invigilator app, if you're going to be writing it out in Microsoft Word, it must have the latest modern web browsers, preferably Chrome or Microsoft Edge. And if you're going to be using this with the iris invigilation, remember you will need a working camera, microphone, sound, and then also Wi-Fi. And then one recommendation I can also do, for especially if you're going to be using your device, say you're going to be connecting at work, test out the proctoring tools on the network that you will be using. Some work networks have very strict firewall rules, so they might be blocking your access to some of these apps. So let's have a quick look at the mock exams. So as we went through the lessons, each lesson at the bottom has a link to the mock exams. You can also access this through the left navigation under lesson 7. And there we've got links to all the various mock exams that's available. So if we look at, for instance, the first one, Moodle Proctoring, this is set up exactly how you would be experiencing it on your exams. So the first thing that you need to do is open up the mock MCQ exam. As we mentioned, the first time you access this, it will have a pop-up to say allow your camera. So make sure that you click this. And you can also see that it tells you here that you will be using your webcam. So remember, if you do this on your mobile device, it will use your front-facing camera. Just remember with this assessment, you can't have, for instance, use your phone for the proctoring and then complete it on your laptop. It uses the camera that's on the device on which you will be doing the assessment. So if I go here to start the attempt, as you can see, first things first is I have to agree to the validation process. will tell me the time limit that I have, and then I can start the attempt. Now, as you can see over here, it does have the webcam displayed over here, but it will close it if I go to a new window or open up the main navigation. So just remember, you can use or have this open, but if it closes, you don't need to see yourself the whole time. All you need to do is focus on answering the questions. Now remember, these questions, a little bit different from your assignments, is that you won't be able to go to the previous question. So you have to answer the question before you go to the next question. Remember, these questions are also randomized, so it's not everybody will not get the same questions. So you basically proceed, work through all of the questions. You'll notice here at the top, it also gives you exactly how much time is left, and you just continue. The camera will function at the background, but you do not need to worry, do anything else for it except making sure on that first window that it's working. Once you've done with all your questions, basically what you can, let me just go back here, start attempt. So once you have reached the end, you click on finish attempt. So this will bring you to this page just to show you that you've answered all the questions. And then you need to click on submit all or finish. And then this pop-up appears as well, submit all or finish again. Now, I really want you to test this out on your mobile device, because some mobile devices with very small screens, if you're going to be using that device, sometimes this button doesn't display clearly. So you have to zoom out a bit to actually be able to click this. But note, your answers will be automatically submitted when the time runs out. So you don't need to do anything else. It's just like you did your assignments. You go through all the questions and you submit at the end. If you lose connectivity during the process, so you have to change your access point, you just continue from where you left off. So it does save all the questions as you go along. And if you completely lose connectivity, it will submit everything automatically that you have submitted. So that is the Moodle proctoring. As you can see, it's fairly easy to use. You only need to make sure you've got a working camera on the device that you will be using for your assessment. If we look at the mock exam for the take-home exam, this is in this case the Invigilator app. Remember, with the Invigilator app, download this app way before your exams, do the demos, come and do this mock exam so you know exactly what to expect. But what will happen on the day? As we mentioned, 15 minutes before your exam starts, you will come over here, you will download your question paper. So I'll just go down here, for instance, download this question paper over here. We've got the QR code here where you can scan it, but a lot of the academics, especially for people that's going to be using their phones as well, they have an additional resources button on here where you can also get the QR code. But otherwise, I've downloaded now my question paper. Now I scan this QR code, it will prompt me to take a picture, a selfie, and it will start and it will run next to me on my phone. So this time I open up Microsoft Word, I type out my questions or I write it out by hand. Just make sure from your academic if they allow handwritten assessments. But the best route to go is to type it out in Microsoft Word. So during this period, you'll get prompted to take a picture of your surrounding, of your identification, all of those aspects that you have to respond to. So make sure your phone is running next to you. Remember, it will be recording sound as well during the entire time. If you need to go, for instance, to the bathroom or anything like that, just tell the app what you are doing. So if you get flagged for out of app usage, when they go investigate it, they can get an indication of what you are doing. But do not let your out of app usage become too long, else you will get flagged. Now, another thing that also a lot of people worry about is, say somebody walks in during your assessment, ask you for coffee, if you want coffee, or the kids want food and all of that. Remember, even though it will pick up that there was a discussion, somebody will still go listen to it. So it will get flagged, but somebody will listen to it, and they have to determine that academic context or content from the assessment was discussed. So as we mentioned in that diagram that Jessica showed, say I finish half an hour before the due time. What I do is then I come to myExams, I upload my answers, and then I start the upload process in the Invigilator app. But if I reach the due time, so it's now we're writing from 10 to 12, and now it's 12 o'clock, start the upload process in the Invigilator app. You can just start it, basically, start uploading. You don't have to wait for all the ticks to be done. That will run in the background as long as you have started it. Then you come to myExams, and then you click on Add Submission. Now, just like with the assignments that we covered, remember you have to acknowledge that this is your own work. Just have a look at the maximum file size and the number of files you can upload. Also, very importantly, have a look at what document types are supported. So you can easily save your Word document to a PDF or use a tool like I Love PDF to convert your documents as well. So here you just, again, choose a file from your computer. You open it, and then you upload this file. So if you're using a mobile device, you can select it from your mobile device as well. So once you are done, you just click on Save Changes. And it will give you the indication that it's been submitted for grading. If this is a yellow bar, that just means you submitted within the cutoff period. That's that half an hour that you get extra. Now, what I do advise always is click on the file that you submitted. It will be under File Submissions, just to make sure this file opens and that it's the correct file that you submitted. Sometimes in this last bit of haste, you might accidentally select the tutorial letter that's also got the module name or a different assignment. So just always check that you have submitted the correct file and that the file is opening. It's not password protected or anything like that. So just do this. And if you notice that you perhaps did submit the incorrect one, you can always click on Edit Submission if you're still within the cutoff period to upload a new file. So just come and test out the mock exam, especially if you're using the Invigilator app. Treat it as a actual exam that you're writing. You know, start the app, go through the prompts, download the question paper, complete, you know, a Word document, and then upload it, and also start the uploading process on the Invigilator app. But also do test this way before your exams. You don't want to install the app and do all the setup on the day of your examinations. Then with the last one, we will look at Iris Proctoring. So as you saw earlier, we installed the extension, and now I can come here, say this is a file upload one. So basically, when you start, also the 15 minutes before start, you access it, Iris will pop up automatically. So I'm just gonna install this quickly. Now, first thing that you need to do is agree to the validation process. You do not need to click on this consent for use of data. So just note this one. You do not have to select this one. You only have to select agree to the terms and conditions. Now, also very importantly, with Iris, you may only use one screen. So if you've got a dual monitor setup like I've got here, you have to use only one display. Let's quickly going to go back. So even though I switched off my one display, you can see it's still there. So what I need to do is close it, go back to the main page, and enter the assessment again. So once it pops up now, I'm going to again agree, but now it doesn't give me that message because now it's picking up. I've only got one camera or one display. So from here, you just select your webcam. You'll have to select your microphone. You'll have to type in your full name. You'll have to insert your student number. You'll have to capture an ID card. So this can be your ID document, a driver's license if you've got one, or even if you've got a student access card, anything where you've got photo identification. So I will just use my UNISA card and you can capture it. Then I can proceed to next. Just make sure that it is legible, everything that you uploaded. We'll also ask you to scan your room. So if you've got a laptop, you just pick up your laptop to show around the room. Or if you've got a webcam, you can just rotate it also around the room to show, capture the area where you'll be writing. Once you're done, you can stop the scan and then proceed to next. And here they actually give a pop-up because this is where a lot of people get stuck. You have to select your screen. So even though you only have one screen, for it to capture your desktop, you have to click on it first and then click on share. So if we click share screen, you'll notice here I can't click on the share button, even though it's displaying over here. You have to click on it and then it will turn blue so that you can share it. From there, you just go next, and then I start my assessment. So this will run in the background. So I'll just go while I'm doing this, go back to the mock exam. Just open it up again. So this will continue running. When I'm ready to submit, I just basically come back to my exams. I go and I then can submit it on this document. Just open up the correct page here. You see I'm a bit many tabs today. So once you're ready, you come back here, you go add a submission, exactly as you do with the Invigilator app. You scroll down, you check the file size, the document types, click on the file, and you upload your document. So I'll just upload this one here as well. So now I've uploaded my document, just like the Invigilator app. I'll make sure that it's the correct file. But now when I'm done uploading it, now I can come to open up the Invigilator app again. It's that one. If I open it up, say if it's still got time left, you can just say finish recording to start the upload process. Else it will prompt you at the end that you have to now start the uploading process. So just be aware that if you finish early, you can click on finish recording. But if you are within, when it reaches the due time, it will prompt you and start the uploading process. So I'm going to click here, finish recording. And because there's still time left, I have to verify by sliding this button over. And then I can select, yes, I am finished. So now basically it is uploading the audio file, the video file, the desktop recording that it did. All of those information is being compressed and uploaded. So you'll notice here at the top, it gives you the progress. And then finally, you will get a real green tick box. And then also here, it will tell you successfully uploaded. I always recommend take a screenshot of this just in case, you have problems of where it's not being passed through and you want to ask for support. This will actually capture the date and time so they can have a look for that specific submission. So I'm just going to minimize this. So once you're done uploading, you can just click on the close button to close this instance of Iris. If you wanted to run it in the background, you can minimize it. But I would rather suggest when you get this successfully, close it up so that all of the data that was saved gets cleared so that you are ready for your next exam. So students, really, please go and do these mock exams. They are really there to help you. It will will get you familiar with the technologies that you will be using, so that you rather focus on actually learning the module content for your exams. So for the next section, I'm going to hand over to student support. So who do you contact if you do run into any difficulties? What are all the contact information that you really need to save? So if you have any problems, it's quickly accessible. So for this, I will hand over to Cornelia. Cornelia, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Richard. Students and colleagues, good afternoon. My name is Kwanele. I am from the Student Communication Center, which we normally call it the Contact Center. Richard, I would like to confirm if my screen is visible.
Yes, you're good to go.
Thank you. Okay, it gives me a great pleasure to be here today to offer the details about how you can get in touch with the Contact Center.
Sorry,
Yes, Richard.
We're seeing the presenter view. You just click at the top, there's display settings. The middle one, and then you just say swap presenter view and slideshow. Here we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, although we our purpose is to support our students through the entire student walk. However, this afternoon I will concentrate on the how the students can interact with us during the exam period. We have quite a few entry points. Sorry about that. Which is the telephone platform. You can call us using the number 0800 001870. And for exam-related student inquiries, you need to press option 4. And please note, this is a toll-free number, so it's not going to charge you as students. And then we have quite a few email addresses, which is for our general email addresses. We have inquire@unisa.ac.za. For data-related inquiries, we have data queries at unisa.ac.za. And then we have Moodle support on my module, which is also important during this period of the year, which is exam period. The email address, it is mymodule 2022 at unisa.ac.za. And then we have this important one, which is exam-related inquiries, which is exam@unisa.ac.za. And then for MFA-related inquiries, students can communicate with us via telephone and choose option 3 for myUnisa, or they can email us using myunisahelp@unisa.ac.za. We also have the social chat, which is available on our corporate page. We also have the web chat, which is live. You can also communicate with us using that entry point. We also have the chat board via the web page, which you can use. You can get these 3, which is your social chats, your web chat, and your chat board on your far right, your bottom far right on the corporate page. You are also most welcome to utilize the self-help options, because most of the inquiries are the responses are provided in that platform. And also, students, please ensure that when you communicate with the university, you use your MyLife email address. And then the current slide, you need to make sure that when you communicate with us for prompt response, you provide us with the information on the screen, which is your student number, very important, your contact details, where we can reach you, a full description of your challenge. That will then assist us to understand what you're actually going through in that period, which will then minimize the duration of the inquiry, and also include a print screen error of your inquiry, if possible. And then we also have an escalation path where we get assistance from the back office, I would say, queries that we are unable to resolve in our environment. We have escalation 1, which is the supervisor currently taking place on the floor, the email address is there. And then we have the escalation, number 2, which is managers based in the Florida campus and the main campus, which is Pretoria. The email addresses are also there. And then we have escalation 3, which is our deputy director, Miss Sefulo. But my advice will be kindly use the other entries because we are available to assist you. Option 4, it's always active because we know this is a crucial period for our beloved students. Good luck with your coming exams, and I appreciate your time and your attention. Thank you, Richard.
So students, please save those numbers. They are available on myUnisa as well under the inquiries page. So keep those numbers safe for if you have any technical difficulties during your exams. So next up, we've got Oxford and we've got Pintias that will be sharing with you the process that you need to follow if you do have any special needs. Thanks, Pintias.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much, Richard. While I'm quickly uploading the presentation. And good day, students. Richard, is my presentation clear?
Yes, Pintias, good to go.
Thank you so much. Students, as mentioned, my name is Pintias Nkuna. I'm representing ArcSuite, which is one of the units within student affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to start with this big question. Did you disclose your disability? While you're still asking yourself, why do I ask this question? Please listen carefully, and I'm sure you'll get answers why I'm asking this particular question. As I mentioned earlier, that ArcSuite provides a wide range of services to students with disabilities. Then, but for now, the focus is mainly on the examination phase. Students with disabilities, I must say that are not treated inferior by the university, if you compare them to students without disabilities. We treat all our students equally. And one may ask, is special examination arrangements automatic? Students, for you to qualify for special examination arrangements, you need to apply and complete a particular form, which I'll show you in a few seconds. And then maybe you are sitting there asking yourself whether you should apply every year for special exam arrangements. Students with permanent disabilities does not apply every year. They apply once throughout the duration of their qualifications or their studies with UNISA. For students with temporary disabilities, they should apply every year. And again, in cases whereby your disability progress, then in that case, you need to reapply because your needs will differ. For example, if in this particular year you are paraplegic, next year you become quadriplegic, you'll therefore have to reapply because you have a set of different needs. And then when you apply for special examination arrangements, you are able to also apply for alternative assessments in cases whereby you are unable to sit for exams in the standard format as prescribed by the university. And ladies and gentlemen, UNISA is serious about accommodating diversity. That's why students who disclose their disabilities and apply for these arrangements are also receiving reasonable accommodation in terms of the proctoring that my colleague mentioned earlier. And when you need extra time, you explain in the form on how much extra time do you need. We don't apply the one-size-fits-all approach because two students may present the similar disability only to find that their needs are completely different. And ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly show you the form so that you know exactly what form you should complete. Okay, it's like it's not responding. I'll quickly go back to it in few minutes. Then and ladies and gentlemen, for all students who applied for special examination arrangements, it's important for you to check your MyLife email address, because that's where you get your the response, whether your application for special examination arrangements is approved or not. And then in that letter, it will state everything that is needed by you. Like, for instance, if you applied for 15 minutes per hour, it will be explained there. If you'll be doing your exams orally, you'll be able to see it there. And then please note that we don't use any email address except MyLife. If you try to contact us, request for us to send a letter to your personal email, unfortunately won't be able to do so. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we encourage students not to conceal their disabilities. While we know and we respect your right to disclose or not to disclose your disability, I must say that students who does not disclose their disabilities may not demand reasonable accommodation from the university, because the university may not be aware of your individual needs. As I mentioned earlier, that we don't apply the one-size-fits-all approach. And I must say, students, even though you've disclosed your disability at the point of registration, it's important to apply for the special examination arrangements, because you may find that you are partially sighted, then you can't read at all, or you're partial sighted, you rely on audio. Then we need to accommodate you based on your individual needs. And also, whether your disability is visible or invisible, please do disclose your disability. The university accommodates all students. And for our students who acquired their disabilities during their studies, please come forward so that we can ensure that you are assisted accordingly. While we are aware that there are students who are reluctant to disclose their disabilities due to the fear of stigma and victimization, students, I must say that disclosing your disability will enable you to receive reasonable accommodation from the university. This is mostly done by students who are new in the world of disability. Please, students, come forward so that you can be reasonably assisted by the university as soon as you acquire a disability or at the point of registration. Students, as I mentioned earlier, that I don't want to take too much of your time, because now the focus is only on examination. Then, in line with this, the motto for persons with disabilities, which says nothing about us without us, it is important for you to always engage with us and tell us your needs, because we don't want to decide for you on your behalf. And then, now that you understand on how to disclose your disability and the reasons for doing so, and the kind of services that you can get now as you are preparing for your exams, students, it becomes your responsibility to either request or use the services that are provided by the university. You can contact ACSUITE using acsuite@unisa.ac.za. This is an inbox whereby when you send it to ACSUITE, all staff members in ACSUITE will be able to see the query and attend to it urgently so. In conclusion, students, I wish you all the best with your exams. Thank you.
Thank you, Pinchas. So this brings us to our last segment for today, and that will be the Lwazi Online Assistant. Now, Lwazi is a humanoid robot that we have, but we also have an AI online chat where Lwazi can help you with any exam-related queries. I'm just quickly going to share the video with you with Lwazi.
I am extremely excited to introduce you to a brand new feature that has been developed to further support you in your academic journey, our online myExams Assistant Chat. Our online assistant chat is a virtual space where you can ask questions, seek guidance, and receive support for all your exam needs. Whether you're struggling with a specific topic Need help preparing for an exam, or simply looking for advice on how to manage your time effectively? Our online assistant chat is here to assist you. Accessing and using the online assistant chat is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Simply visit the ADOVH site and click on the Hidden Exam Question button at the bottom right and start typing your question. Me, as the AI-powered assistant, will then provide you with the information you need in real time. I strongly encourage all of you to take advantage of this fantastic resource. It is a convenient and effective way to get the support you need whenever you need it. And don't worry, my online assistant chat is designed to be user-friendly and accessible to everyone, regardless of your level of technical expertise. So, what are you waiting for? Give it a try and see how my online assistant chat can help you achieve academic success. Remember, we are here to support you every step of the way, and together, we can overcome any challenges that come our way. Thank you and best of luck with your exams.
So students, if you're studying late at night and you suddenly have a question, remember Lwazi chat is there to help you as well. But always, if it's something very critical, remember to confirm with the student support department or with your lecturer. So lastly, please use the myExams guide, work through it, through all the units, work through the mock exams, and for only the mock exams that will be using the proctoring tools that you will use in your exams. So with that, I want to say thank you for everybody for joining. Our next session is on Saturday at 9 o'clock. And then we'll hopefully have our chat fixed as well. So if you've got any questions, please join us on Saturday so that we can get the server up and running so that we can have your interactions and inputs. But thanks everyone, and thank you for all the colleagues for presenting today. Have a good day. Bye.